Then we want to look at the 2024 solar return for January 9th, 2024, which was her birthday. And in this chart, look at all of that energy at the bottom of the chart. So it's a Libra rising. So Venus is ruling her in this chart. Ow, that hurt. And Venus is down here in the third house in Sagittarius. Let me look at my notes before I start going off script. Co-present with Mercury, the moon, and Mars. So that's a lot of personal planets right there, right? And the third house is cadent. Succedent? Yeah, cadent. And cadent is, we can't do anything. Cadent, when the cadent houses, planets in cadent houses lose, they don't have they've fallen from the angle. So they don't have the ability to do as much as they mean to. And that's a lot of personal planets there. Venus also rules the 8th house of anxiety and death. And it's a night chart. And Mars is right here at the bottom of the chart. It's exalted in Capricorn, which gives it even more power. But if it's the malefic, then it's giving more malefic power. So Mars rules the 4th in exaltation, the 7th, and the 2nd. And so what this could indicate is having a really good surgeon ruling the 7th house of physicians, but he's not and he's exalted, so everybody thinks he's great, but he's in a cadent house, so he's, and he's not, it looks like it's close to that cusp, but that's 8 degrees away, so he's in the 3rd house, he's cadent. And it's probably going to cost a lot of money because he rules the 2nd house too. So he's unable to do something because he's in the cadent house. There's something that's, even though he's a great surgeon because he's exalted, he's probably expensive, the best there is, but there's something that he can't do because he's cadent. Where am I? Okay, Mars is in conversation with Saturn in Pisces because that's a sextile. It's an applying sextile. And so I like to, sometimes people when we start talking astrology and we say trine, sextile, blah, blah, people just shut us off, never mind. So I try to explain it's a conversation. When they're in aspect, it's a conversation. And when it's a sextile, that's a positive conversation or a supportive conversation, because supportive does not always mean positive. Think about the MAGA movement. They support Trump. Are they good? No. So supportive does not necessarily mean positive, okay? But this is a supportive conversation he's having with Saturn. So he's having a conversation with Saturn in the 5th house. So, in a water sign, in a mutable water sign, this could have to do with, the 5th house has to do with children. It also has to do with risk taking. And Saturn actually rules the 5th house because the cusp is in Aquarius, but he's in Pisces. So there's a conversation going on there that we're not sure about. And he's also in a conversation with Jupiter, and that's a trine, which is, again, it's a conversation. Trines are positive, you would think, but they're supportive. Now, the sextile is more of an opportunity is presented. So it's a conversation. So maybe like that could say, yeah, we need to talk. A trine is supportive in a sense that Jupiter is offering more, like getting involved. So the trine is just more of it, whereas a sextile is, let's talk about that. Let's plan. You have your people, call my people. It's the start of a conversation. There's an opportunity there. With the trine aspect, you've got there's more action involved. although it is a earth sign, so it's more of a receptive than an active, but there's more pushed behind it. And so that's Jupiter in the 8th house of anxiety and death. So that's something to think about. Okay, so Jupiter, let's look at Jupiter again. Jupiter rules the 6th house of illness and is located in the 8th house of anxiety or death. And Saturn, because Saturn is in Pisces, also is reporting to Jupiter because Jupiter rules Pisces. And I use traditional rulerships in this type of chart reading. So you don't want to, so that's why I'm not saying, oh, but it's Neptune. I'm saying, no, it's Jupiter. Let the hate mail begin. And so the moon, because we always want to look at the moon, is in the last degrees of Sagittarius. So there's a change coming whenever planets are getting ready to change signs or change houses. There's something, that's indicating a change. And so when the moon gets into Capricorn, that's the sign of its detriment because the moon rules Cancer, and Cancer is opposite Capricorn. So that's detriment, okay? So the moon is going into detriment. So that's not good. And then the sun, the natural significator for vitality again, even though Venus is the ruler of the chart, the sun is just a natural ruler of vitality. It's at the bottom of the chart and it's in a semi-square, it's a half square, which again is an astrology term, but it's a conversation. But this is a half square is like, oh, did you hear what he said? There's angst about it, okay? Because it's half the square. When the square comes up, it's that decision that needs to be made. So this is you're hearing something, oh no. And it's the start of that negative conversation, right? It's like, so what we can imagine, the bottom of the chart, the end of the matter, and then Saturn's over here. And so because the sun is the one that's applying to, the sun is the one we're getting his take on it. And it's, Saturn said, no more children, or Saturn said, what else could the 5th house be? That the risks are too great to do this. We can't, it's too late. We can't do that. Saturn's saying no. So I don't know. Again, I'm just reading a chart, right? I'm not predicting anything.